The Miis have been a Nintendo staple for nearly 2 decades now, first appearing in the Wii's launch title, Wii Sports. And they've appeared on every single Nintendo console since then, even going back and making a handful of appearances on the DS. Miis are, in my opinion, the pinnacle of character customization. They're so unbelievably simple and easy for anyone to understand and make their own, but if you're incredibly talented, you can make nearly anybody or anything. Family, friends, celebrities, and even cartoon characters are all possible to some degree. But that made me wonder, how well can each Mii Maker make a Mario Mii? I mean, Mario is one of those characters that you almost have to have a Mii of, right next to the hamburger and just a bunch of random stuff. He is Nintendo's mascot after all. So I'll be going through every Mii Maker, I think, and making a Mii of Mario just to see which one looks the best and how accurate you can make it. Okay, so technically not every Mii Maker, some of them are the exact same as each other. I believe that the 3DS's built-in one, Tomodachi Live, and the 3DS version of Miitopias are all basically one and the same, so doing a different Mii for each one would be kind of redundant. Plus, I just don't want to buy a 3DS copy of Miitopia right now. I'll be doing it in several different ways as well. Obviously, the normal way, which is just picking the facial features. However, if a maker has a unique way of making a Mii, I'll be doing that as well. For example, the Wii has the choose from a lookalike option. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream has the thing where you can select the different prompts, and a couple of them have a camera. So let's see which Mario Mii is the best. This is a really stupid video. The Wii is where the whole Mii thing started. So many iconic titles use these characters. Wii Sports Resort, Wii Fit, not that one, Wheel of Fortune. And in order to play these games and torture methods, you need a Mii. So head on over to the Mii Channel. I got bored one day and made a guy named Dill Pickle for some reason. Anyway, Mario making time. Not you. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to make him wear a hat for all of them because I feel like it makes the Mii look more like Mario, I guess. To be honest, I don't typically do that whenever I make one, but whatever. Anyway, I don't really have much to say while I'm making the Mii, but here is a trick to get a slightly better looking mustache since the ones at our disposal aren't necessarily great. You take the super wide open happy looking mouth, move it directly under the nose, take this mustache and just move it around a bit, and there you go. I guess it looks better. So this is the first Mario, and I mean, you can probably tell who it's supposed to be, so it'll do for beating people up in Wii Sports boxing. So the other way you can make a Mii on the Wii is by using the choose from a lookalike option. Basically, if you are incapable of making your own Mii for some reason, you can choose between a vast selection of various randomly generated ones. I never really used this personally. None of the Miis they show really looked that great in my opinion. And to be honest, they all had a slightly uncanny feel to them. Like one of those AI generated people that don't exist or something. At least I hope nobody looks like that. Once you pick one, you get shown a few versions with slight differences until you get your desired result. Not sure if that's the word I would use. So for Mario, I cycled through several, and I mean several times, and this is literally the best I got. I never even saw a single one with a mustache. So once you're happy, you do get the option to edit, but I didn't because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of using the choose from a lookalike feature. So yeah, if you're gonna make a Mario Mii on the Wii, definitely just do it yourself. Now, the DS itself doesn't have a native Mii Maker built in, so if a game happened to use them, it would have to have its own Mii Maker. The one I'll be using for this video is the one in Tomodachi Collection, which is the first game in the Tomodachi Life series and only released in Japan, so I have no idea what I'm doing here. Actually, the Mii Maker itself is very similar to just basically the same as all the other ones. I do think it's really neat seeing Miis on a console that they didn't originally appear on. The low poly versions of the iconic creatures are kind of charming, honestly. But yeah, it's just a basic Mii Maker, so not much will be too different from the Wii version. Although since this is a Tomodachi game, they have voices. I don't know what it's saying at all, but I made it as ear-piercing as possible. To be honest, this game kind of creeps me out, and I don't exactly know why, but it's probably a mix of a few factors. For one, like I said, I don't know what anything is saying. It could be warning me of impending doom, and I'd have no idea. And there's this sort of familiarity about it too. So many aspects of this game were kept and straight up reused for its globally released sequel, Tomodachi Life. So it's just a little bit uncanny, I guess. The Nintendo 3DS lets you use the system's incredibly low-resolution camera to make a Mii. Basically, you select a few basic options, then take a picture of your subject. It doesn't work very well, but I figured why not try it for our Mario Mii. I'll be using the basic Super Mario amiibo here as I feel like it's the best physical representation of the character. Here we go, and it didn't work. I tried several times, but it could just not detect his face, which is kind of disappointing, but Nintendo's cameras could get a redemption in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And the regular method, get this, looks basically the exact same. Wow. All the 3DS Mii Makers are the same, I'm pretty sure, so we'll just leave it here. The Wii U is a console that exists and it has Miis. The DIY method is the exact same. They aren't really adding new face elements to improve the Mario Mii creation process. I mean, do they even listen to their fans? It also features a camera just like the 3DS that can be used to make your Mii. Let's see if they've made any improvements here. Whoa, we're actually getting a result? The 3DS couldn't even, begin to think of doing that, and it's not good. It's terrible. To be fair, there was a glare in the picture, so maybe that's where it got the glasses from. And if you squint really, and I mean really hard, maybe, as always, you can change it up afterwards, but that just kind of defeats the whole purpose. For some reason, I've always liked the way the Miis on the Wii U look. They're just so shiny, I guess. This was probably done to emphasize the HD of the console. Glorious HD. It just has such a Wii U feel to it, I guess, although it does make their hair look kinda greasy, which is actually a positive thing since the only people making Miis on this were Wii U owners, so greasy hair makes complete sense. One of the lesser known Mii Makers is the Mii Studio, an official Mii Maker in your browser. There's only a few uses for these, mobile games and as your user icon for stuff like My Nintendo, and as far as I can tell, it's basically the exact same as it is on the Switch. Nothing special here, the only reason you'd ever want to use this is for that or that. Guess what? It's basically the exact same as on the Wii, DS, Wii U, 3DS, and mobile, but this time with zero personality. The Switch and Switch 2's Mii Maker has been criticized from the start for numerous reasons. No music, it's just buried in the settings, it's extremely boring. But objectively speaking, in terms of the pure creation aspect, I think it's the best version, and I believe that mainly due to the amount of colors available. Finally, you don't have to act like gray hair is all that old people have. There's just so many options for eyes, hair, and eyebrows. Not favorite colors though for some reason, but whatever. Anyway, none of that helps us, and he looks the exact same. Cool. When I said that the Switch's Mii Maker was the best, I was referring to the more basic ones. Miitopia on Nintendo Switch is such a bizarre release that nobody was really asking for. Probably. But the overhaul that it did to the Mii Maker is absolutely insane. The new makeup feature basically allows you to make whatever you want as your Mii character. It's essentially just several different shapes and stamps that you can add, and it is a little bit tedious to use though, but I'm probably doing something wrong since I really haven't used it since the Biden administration. Plus, I'm not exactly artistically skilled per se, so using a mashup of different shapes, this is what I came up with. Not terrible, I guess. The only thing the makeup really improves for this Mii is the mustache, since you can make it way more accurate. It does mean you have to start off with him being completely clean shaven though, which is disgusting. If I spent more time here, I probably could have done way better, but given that I didn't feel like spending an hour on it, this is alright, I guess. And like I said, I have zero artistic skill. So Tomodachi Life Living the Dream has two ways to make a Mii, the standard start from scratch or what people who think Super Mario Galaxy is flawless need to do. I'll start with from scratch, but since I already have a Mario Mii that I'm fairly happy with, I won't create an entirely new one. I'll just use the one I have and go through each option I picked. I mean, obviously this is going to be one of the better ones. There's literally a mustache that is almost identical to Mario's. It's just missing a bump, but I'll live, I guess. I mean, what else would you use this for? So yeah, just copy everything I did here if you want the Mario Mii that I have for some reason. Now for the prompt version. This will turn out so well that I'm gonna want to delete the one that I already have, I bet. You start with his age. I picked grown up, obviously. Incredibly round head. Regular, the first option. I just went with the second hair length. For the style, I was conflicted between quirky and spiky, but I ended up going with the former. Average, Again, wasn't too sure, but I just went with option 2. Brown, round eyes, skip any extra features. Blue, again, I wasn't too sure, so I just went with the middle. Went fairly standard for the rest of the eyebrow options. Regular mouth, smiley, big nose, no freckles or any special features. Now for arguably the most important part, the mustache. You can put this on literally any character and somebody will think it's Mario. Unfortunately, they don't give you that one as an option here, so I just picked the most basic one that would kind of work if you squinted, I guess, and I just hoped for the best. No glasses, and here we go and say goodbye to handcrafted Mario. We've got Superb Mark. I mean, you can kind of tell who it's supposed to be, I guess. Again, if you really squint your eyes. As with all of my island's residents, he's getting fed the Arby's meal. Well, at least we know he's normal. And if anyone is curious, he was poisoned and didn't survive. R.I.P. Superb Mark. You were hideous, but really, who isn't? And those are all of the Mii Makers that I know of and their iterations of a Mario Mii. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that Miitopia on the Switch and Tomodachi Life Living the Dream are by far the best in this regard. Although I'm going to give the overall win to Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I mean, in Miitopia, you have to make a lot of the features yourself, whereas in Living the Dream, you just have a lot of the options already available to you. And if it's not obvious when I'm referring to Living the Dream here, I'm talking about the Get Help option.